Welcome back, everybody, to the Galactic Wargames! For those that missed the announcements, the original third season has been canceled due to our new arrivals. That's right, it was the humans. Originally, the third season was going to be centered around the mastery of water in oceans and other water-based combat. However, information about human weapons has leaked out and subsequently canceled the games. The water-based species such as the Dolcha, the Samaha, the Len, and the Poopdex would be able to show their supremacy. At first, they believed that speed would be their ally before humans showed how fast their vessels move on the surface, easily 10 times faster than the Dolcha, which is the fastest water-based species. Others, like the Samaha, believe that under the surface they would be able to swarm the surface vessels and the submariner vessels without any problems, and they would be able to take down the humans without even a fight, until they found out that humans regularly use high voltage, extremely high voltage electric shock to destroy water-based predators. This would have led to a total loss of the Samaha and 0 losses to the humans. The Len believed that their abilities of stealth would make them completely impossible to locate, yet, as we've seen in the recordings with the intoxicated human submariner, the humans have the ability to map the entire seafloor from the surface. Also, as it turns out, locating adversaries is a speciality of the humans. The Len would have not even got a chance to retaliate, as many of the devices used could be utilized from the air outside of the water, as they simply hovered over the water, put the sensors down in, and said, "There you are." Quickly followed by the humans saying the phrase, "Here's your ass." The Poopdex believed at first that their hardened outer shell defenses would protect them from any human weapons. Every species knows how thick their carapace actually is, and never to strike it unless you want to damage your own appendage. It is also well known that they are not susceptible to electric current. However, when they realized how destructive human torpedoes can be, even their best warriors hesitated. These torpedoes have a dash function in them that allows them to penetrate the poop decks before exploding inside them. Even if they survive, the shaky legs from such an experience makes them unable to fight, especially with a gaping hole left behind oozing fluid. A few other species were relying on these 4 aquatic species to be the decisive effort against the humans, yet they all withdraw after learning about an old human weapon system that they had tested in their late years of 1980s and 1990s. This weapon, when turned on a low setting, this will stun all marine life for hundreds of kilometers in any direction. On the higher settings, all marine life would die violently and painfully. Though the humans claim that they would not use such a weapon, as it violates the rules of a weapon of mass destruction, the species all said the same phrase in different ways as they withdraw, and it was, if they have an ancient weapon that is this destructive inside the water, just think about what they have now. This is why, ladies and gentlemen, we will not be bringing the third Galactic Wargames into the oceans of Dagobah 1. Instead, we will head up and up and up into the oceans of space. From here, it is believed that the young species, the humans, will have a much more difficult time. Yet before we can begin the first round, ladies and gentlemen, we need to wait until all the different species are in place. And as we wait, we will take a quick word from our sponsors. Welcome everybody as we look across the zone that will be used as our arena for this Galactic Wargames. For our younger viewers, I need to give a quick history lesson of this area. Here in the Dagobah system, there were count them, two planets that were both considered to be the 5th planet of this sector. They were both in the same orbit, yet on opposite sides of this solar system. As they kept moving around, they kept each other apart from each other, so there was not an issue at all. However, that was before a large celestial body flew past the sector and disrupt the orbits. This made these completely opposite planets move towards each other more and more. After the unknown body passed by, the rotation speed of only one of these planets was altered, leading to both of them ramming into each other, causing a collision and subsequent destruction of both worlds. That is why there is a ring of asteroids in this sector, a ring so dense that any strays from the belt that seem to be ricocheted through the area to the 4th and the 6th planet and beyond have deleted all life on all other planets in this sector, with one exception, of course, and that being Dagobah 1, as almost completely covered by oceans. This allows them to contain the impacts of each of these asteroids landing on, which was the reason it was originally chosen for the 3rd Galactic Wargames. However, since we cannot fight in the oceans, again, we are going up and up and up into space. For our wargames in space, this oddity of space, this belt of asteroids, has been chosen as the location to showcase the military prowess of those that can handle such difficulty. There is also the fact that in open space, you have more chance of running out of ordnance or overheating before either side can actually do significant damage, as anyone, when firing from that far, has plenty of time to move out of the way. As we look closer, we can see each of the species lining up in their respective areas. For this round, each species will be allowed one space superiority fighter. No drones will be allowed in the games at this point. It should be noted, however, that you can bring guided weapon systems. However, it is not recommended, as guided weapon systems have a lot of difficulty handling this type of terrain. Each of these single personnel fighters will be placed randomly around this field, approximately 300 kilometers apart from each other. Once in position, the games will begin. As we can see, many of the species have placed their fighters already. I can see the Talsar with their large feather-shaped stabilizers. Let's hope they do not take as much damage from debris as last time. That had to be embarrassing, ladies and gentlemen, as they were considered to be the favorites, yet smacking into debris made their stabilizers fail and they were forced to eject. There is also the Vanax, with their sleek design and that large particle weapon that is underslung. A absolutely devastating weapon, ladies and gentlemen, though one must remember about its usage. If they end up firing it too quickly, ladies and gentlemen, it must then cool for a long period of time before it goes critical, and that would leave them vulnerable. It is good to see that they have actually learned from the last war games, as their pilot was lost due to an ejection malfunction when their weapon overcharged, went critical, and destroyed the entire fighter. Oh, look at this. There's the Lynx, with what looks like a multi-armed shuttle. Now looking closely, ladies and gentlemen, it seems as though they are trying to latch onto the asteroids. I always say this because if you look closely at the outer edge, it seems like it is based off their own physicality, as they do have the claws on the end. Perhaps they're going to prioritize stealth, as that is what they do. It does make sense, as they are themselves ambush predators. It seems as though the Boogers are ready, as their spherical ship is floating at its starting point. They are our favorites today, as their spherical ship allows them to engage in all directions at the same time. We are adjusting the camera now, as we have been informed that the humans have been placed in their starting point. As we zoom in, hold on a moment, and perhaps we see the humans fighter. There it is. Ladies and gentlemen, I do not know what I'm looking at. It seems as though they've taken a very, very simplistic design. It seems as though they have a center section, and I can actually see the human inside, and they do have almost unparalleled visibility for sight. However, that makes me wonder if they have enough sensors inside, ladies and gentlemen. They do have 4 different pylons sticking out, and I do not know how well this is going to work with maneuverability. It seems as though the engines are quite large, ladies and gentlemen, which will let you know that they're going to be moving very, very quickly. Ladies and gentlemen, I've never seen this. However, I will say it is odd to zoom in here, and it seems as though they have ordnance. They have a lot of ordnance, ladies and gentlemen, and they have ordnance that is stretching on not only the dorsal but the ventral side of each of these pylons. It seems as though they're absolutely covered with them, ladies and gentlemen. Why do they need so much? Well, actually, ladies and gentlemen, I just answered my own question, because it seems as though the bets are saying that the humans are going to go down in a quite literal blaze of glory. Everyone is betting against them, ladies and gentlemen, as it seems like everyone is a little angry at the previous Galactic Wargames. Now, I will say this, ladies and gentlemen, in my own personal opinion, I find this interesting that this particular single-person space superiority fighter looks absolutely nothing like a human. However, all other species tend to make their own fighters very similar, or at least somewhat similar, to their own biology. I don't know how this device is going to handle the strain that's going to be put on it. However, we do not have time to even consider ourselves. I have just been informed that the last species has taken place, and here we go, ladies and gentlemen. It seems as though every species is heading off in different directions as fast as they possibly can. No, wait, something's off, ladies and gentlemen. It seems as though the different fighters are not scattering in all different directions as we thought. It seems as though many species pilots are heading straight towards that. Ladies and gentlemen, where are they heading? Ladies and gentlemen, we're trying to figure this out, and it seems as though, yes, it is confirmed, they're all heading straight towards the humans. I shouldn't say all of them. It seems as though approximately 60% of all fighters are now heading straight towards the humans. The humans, it seems as though, lucked out, as they are far to the end, only having several other species around them. And it seems as though the fighters are, yes, they are converging, and they're moving around the asteroids. They are ducking, they're diving, they're dipping, they're dropping, they're dodging around the asteroids as they're trying to get through. Let's see. And they're getting closer and closer. And there goes the first few, ladies and gentlemen. They are being taken down. Several go down quick as they are caught inside all these ambushes. They're coming in a group. They thought that everybody was going to be going after the humans, but apparently not. A few have been struck by asteroids, and they are gone. It seems like those that were not going after the humans are using the humans as bait, ladies and gentlemen. They are sitting there waiting in ambush, and as the group comes by, they are firing in, and they're trying to take down as many as possible. They're drawing others into their sights, and they're taking them down. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to take a phrase from the humans that is very, very sneaky. Oh, but it doesn't seem like it's working all that well. It seems like they can take out one. However, another one is right there, coming in around the asteroid and popping them off, taking them in half. Many of them shooting off with their ejection pods as soon as they are struck. It seems as though the auto ejection is working very well, ladies and gentlemen, as many pods are going. However, other fighters are just turning into a complete fireball, bursting as a mini star in the air. And unfortunately, there goes the pilot. Oh, it is not working so well for the ambushers. It is definitely not, as they're going away. They're trying to get out of their positions, and they are getting ambushed themselves as they run for it. Oh, explosives and escape pods are now going everywhere. They are littering the field, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, as they sit in their ejection pods, I can only hope that they have good views for the rest of the continuation, or else they're going to be quite bored as we continue on the fight. Because last time, the Galactic Wargames, at least for this stage, took several hours to complete. With so many having completely aimed towards the humans trying to take them out, this has completely changed the dynamic of the Wargames, ladies and gentlemen. Instead of a whole bunch of 1 versus 1 matches, as everybody tries to outmaneuver each other, it is turned into a full-on chaotic, I don't know what to call it. It's called a furball. We call it a furball. Ladies and gentlemen, that was one of the human announcers. They said a furball. I'm not sure what that means, ladies and gentlemen. I don't have fur, so I don't know what he's talking about. But with all this, are the humans still fighting? And we're trying to find them, ladies and gentlemen, so we can find out if they've been taken out and who we give the credit for. And they are Where are they? Ladies and gentlemen, we're actually trying to find the humans. It seems as though we've lost track of their fighter. One moment, I believe we may have found it. Ladies and gentlemen, we don't see it. Perhaps because they have painted the craft completely black. However, the sensors shouldn't be blocked by simple paint, ladies and gentlemen. We're having trouble finding. It shouldn't be that difficult. Well, perhaps we can find them as they engage, folks, ladies and gentlemen. We're looking at the closest species to the human, and that would be the Tulsar shuttle. And as we look in, it is... Well, they ejected for sure, ladies and gentlemen. The shuttle is completely full of holes. As we look close, this does not look like ballistic fire, ladies and gentlemen. This looks like pulse weapons. This looks like a lot of pulse weapons. The large wings seem to be torn apart or just pumped full of holes, as though they've been hit by that strange, war crime stick that the humans talk about. They are definitely not flying that, ladies and gentlemen. All 4 stabilizers are completely gone, and it looks as though the engine compartment has taken enough damage that the auto ejection system has sent them. We see the Tulsar pilot, and they seem to be alive, and perhaps we can speak to them. Can we speak to them? Can you get connection? Yes, we have connection, ladies and gentlemen. We're trying to get in. What was it? Is he? No, ladies and gentlemen, what he is saying right now, we cannot put online at the Galactic Wargames. We may have young ones listening. Apparently, he is very far from, well, that's descriptive. Ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna we're gonna change it. Let's take a look at, Let's see. All the species are heading towards the human start point. It seems as though the ambushers have failed, and it seems as though the rest are heading that way. It looks as though even the human is going to have difficulty. I don't think they can handle this many. And there's currently 13 different species all heading towards the human's positions. And I do not know how the human is going to be able to fight this many. I don't care how good they are. It is going to be pretty much impossible to not crash into something while trying not to get blasted. Still, we cannot locate the humans. We're having trouble, ladies and gentlemen. There's no heat corona. There's no electronic signature. There's no nothing. Ladies and gentlemen, we are having a lot of trouble finding them. Can we even get the IFF code? No, they don't have an IFF code. Oh boy. Ladies and gentlemen, let's see. Let's focus on the group, ladies and gentlemen, as they come through. The group seems to be slowing down, and they are moving slowly and very methodically in a jumbled formation. It seems as though they want to make sure that when they find the human, they can all pounce on it. Like some sort of Dargrinian insectoid where you end up inside their hive and they just go on you and just tear you apart. Ladies and gentlemen, I would not want to be that, and I would not want to be the human at this point. Should they be able to find the human soon, they are done. And, ladies and gentlemen, we are still what was that? Ladies and gentlemen, we just had a pulse. What's it? Pulse? They're telling me it's LiDAR. Who uses LiDAR anymore? Ladies and gentlemen, apparently the humans use LiDAR, and it seems that all of the species have actually picked this up, and they're heading towards the source, and they're moving very quick. It seems they all want blood, and they all want human blood, and they're moving in. They're going in, and we're trying to find out exactly where they're going. Did you find out where the pulse is? Yeah, we're getting a camera over there, ladies and gentlemen, right now. It should be there, and yes, we have found this. There's some small device, and it seems as though it has pulsed again, and here comes all of them. All the other species around one of the larger asteroids, and they're coming in and they're stopping. They're trying to figure out what's going on. They're trying not to get too close, as they don't know if this is going to explode or anything. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what's going on, and it seems like that is the question they're all asking each other. What is going on? I don't know. What is that? What incoming missiles, everyone. Oh my god, incoming missiles. They're everywhere, ladies and gentlemen. There's absolute chaos as everyone is trying to throttle up to get away, but there's splashes all over the place from one side to the other, being a gigantic flood of splashes and destructions. Ladies and gentlemen, it seems as though the guided missiles have just arced themselves around a smaller asteroid, and they're just tearing everyone apart. There's splashes all over the place. Now their space superiority fighters completely destroyed. Some have been struck and they're adrift, and there are ejection pods all over the place, ladies and gentlemen. I cannot keep up with this much destruction. How did it do this? It seems as though the humans had actually set a trap, ladies and gentlemen. I couldn't believe it. If I had not seen that with all four of my eyes, ladies and gentlemen, I would not have believed there. Oh my God. That was a human recovery beacon attached to the LiDAR. Who would have thought of that, ladies and gentlemen? They had actually set that up, and it seems as though they used those short-range missiles, and they simply had a lock thanks to the LiDAR, and they do not miss, apparently, because they're all gone. Wow, ladies and gentlemen, it was just a complete and total trash. Oh, sweet maker, I never thought I would see this happen, but it seems as though the humans have taken out 13 different fighters in a matter of moments. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, I am amazed. And we found him. We have him. Get to camera, please. We are looking down on the human fighter. We have actually located them thanks to tracking back the missile storm, and it seems as though they no longer have any external ordnance remaining. It seems as though they burned it all up. I'm starting to wonder what they're going to do now, because it means they need to get line of sight with direct fire weapons. It does not seem like they have any turrets on this space superiority fighter. However, I wonder if those are cannons, or are they guns, or what are they on this ship? However, with only 3 species left, besides the human, this will get very interesting. And it didn't take long to get interesting, as we see the Vanax. They're coming in, and they're at full burn, and they're coming in quick. It looks as though the human realized what's going on, and boy, can that thing maneuver. That ship of the humans just did some sort of backflip, twist, tuck, turn. I don't know what the heck it did. But ladies and gentlemen, it got out of the way, and it seems as though the Vanax main weapon has actually not only almost hit the human, but it actually cut through the asteroid they were going to be hiding behind, and now there's 2 different asteroids there. It seems as though the human is constantly trying to move to try and get away, and I can't say that I blame him, ladies and gentlemen. The Vanax main weapon is very, very dangerous, and you cannot hide from it. All you can do is keep maneuvering, and yes, this human is maneuvering. I'm having trouble keeping all my eyes on this human maneuvering as it's banking left, banking right, twisting, turning, ducking, dubbing, jumping, lefting. I don't even know what words to use anymore, ladies and gentlemen. He's moving around, and the Vanax continues to fire over and over and over again. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm starting to worry about the Vanax weapon. It seems as though it's starting to run hot. It is starting to glow a little bit. We can see it, and sure enough, yes, it got too hot. It is automatically detached. And oh, there it goes, ladies and gentlemen. The weapon has actually exploded. However, it has exploded far enough away from the shuttle, or away from the fighter, away from the Vanax, that it now is safe. Is it safe? It is not safe, because here comes the human, and it is firing all its pulse weapons, and it has strafed right across the Vanax fighter and the Vanax. There goes the ejection pods. It seems as though the human had been firing directly at the engines and eventually has hit it. The Vanax fighter is now sputtering through, and there goes the engine. There goes the engine. It has hit critical mass, and it is now nothing but junk. Ladies and gentlemen, that Vanax, I wonder, can we talk to them? Can you get communications with the Vanax? You can. Good. I'd like to talk to them. I don't want to talk to them either. They don't want to talk to me. What's the issue? They're cursing up. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, it seems as though the Vanax is in the middle of their rage quit fit, and they are currently cursing up a storm to the point where I'm getting a quick, what are they saying? Oh, I'm not reading that on the air. No. Okay, let's get back down to the games really quick, and it seems as though another pulse has gone out. Another pulse from the humans. I didn't know they were able to retrieve their LiDAR, or maybe they had a second one. The human then gets its pulse out, and it's heading right towards the Lynx. Right towards the Lynx. It's like it knows exactly where the Lynx is. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what everybody was worried about with the oceanic scanners. Perhaps, just perhaps, they've used similar technology for space. However, could they? Could they actually use the ether in a way to find everything? It seems as though the humans know exactly where the Lynx is, and the Lynx is hiding on the edge of an asteroid, using all 10 of the limbs to hold on tight. Now, we're moving the camera over. We can see the Lynx as it's reached out with all its arms, and in the central console is a single turret moving around. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't think the human can get very close to this without getting blasted. It seems as though that turret can fire every single way except for behind it. And there's another pulse. And a message just came out from the humans. What does it say? Can you translate that? Yes, send it to my tab. And ladies and gentlemen, the human has said to the Lynx, are you sure this is what he said? The human has said, "Peek-a-boo, I see you." Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what that means, if that is a human insult or what, but it seems as though they're trying to strafe the Lynx at range. And it seems as though they're doing nothing but strafing the asteroid, and it seems as though they're focusing on a center portion and they're damaging the asteroid. And it seems as though I think they may have figured out what the Lynx's issue with. It seems as though they have been able to scan the Lynx and figure out exactly where they can and cannot fire from. If that's true, then this is exactly what they need to do. They're firing through. I can see parts of the asteroid breaking apart, and it seems as though they're breaking apart. The Lynx's legs are trying to hold on, but it seems like, yes, a few of the shots are getting through, and they're breaking the legs off. They're breaking it apart. Enough damage has been done to the asteroid as the legs are beginning to break to pieces. The 4 pulse weapons on the front of the human vessel are now firing through the opening of the shattered asteroid, and ejection pods are launched from the Lynx. They are out as the limbs are completely blown off. The center section is now just floating through space, and who knows where it's going to end up next. Now, with the fall of the Lynx, that only leaves 2 contestants remaining. Who will it be? How will the Boogers fare against the humans as they are the last ones standing, so to speak? We currently have cameras on the Booger sphere, and it seems as though they do not move fast. It seems as though instead of having strong engines, they have prioritized offensive and defensive weapons over any type of maneuverability. Another pulse has just come out from the humans, and it seems as though it tells the humans exactly where to go. As soon as they're in line of sight, oh yeah, there it goes. The Boogers are firing. They are firing as soon as the humans are out, but it seems as though the human is very quick to move his fighter away. As we can see, the Booger's fighter rotates around to give its weapons time to cool, but continues to fire. With no openings, the human seems to back his fighter up to an asteroid. I don't know what it's doing, ladies and gentlemen. It seems as though he's simply using this asteroid to block everything. The Boogers may have a lot of weapons, but those weapons are not strong. They're only strong enough to take out a fighter, ladies and gentlemen, but that's about it. They cannot get through the solid rock. Ladies and gentlemen, I still have no idea what the human is doing. He's backed up, and it seems... What is he doing? It seems he's just fired his weapons, and it seems as though he's sending the asteroid towards the Boogers. He's sending an asteroid directly at them. As the asteroid is drifting closer and closer, ladies and gentlemen, the humans seem to be bouncing around the back of it, popping up in different angles, firing a few times, and then dropping back behind before the Boogers can retaliate exactly where it is, trying to figure out exactly where the human is going to pop up from. Is it there? Is it there? There, everywhere. It seems like he's popping up from all different directions at the same time. The Boogers constantly firing its weapons. It's even firing into the asteroid as though it's trying to deflect it. And what is the human trying to do? The human moves behind it and then use again its forward thrusters to push this asteroid towards the Boogers even more. Every time it gets off course, it seems like the human is pushing it further and further towards the Boogers. Eventually, it's going to hit if they don't do something, and it seems as though what they're doing is they're spinning faster and faster in different ways, trying to bring more weapons to bear faster and letting them overheat. But it doesn't matter. They must stop this piece of rock. The human's thrusters continue to adjust everything, and soon, if nothing is done, there's going to be a collision with the Booger's fighter. Even as they get closer and closer, the humans are still firing from random areas as it approaches, taking a few grazing hits as they do. It is not like the humans are getting away. It seems as though every once in a while, they do get just a little bit of a hit. However, it seems not to do enough damage to take them out. The Booger's fighter is now focusing on the asteroid directly in the center as though it's trying to stop it. It is now firing at point blank range, and as it does, the asteroid is now exploding, ladies and gentlemen. It's tearing itself apart, and now one large problem is now many small ones as they continue to fire at every single thing. The shrapnel is beginning to hit the sides. It's breaking into the Boogers all over the area. Kinetic energy is knocking them sideways this way and that way. The human fighter is trying to move around sporadically, using its thrusters to move, twist, and turn all different ways, ladies and gentlemen, as it's trying not to get shot. It's trying to use what pieces are there to make sure it doesn't get hit. It's continuing to fire its own weapons. The humans are firing randomly in. Not only are their own weapons beginning to get through, but also the metal pieces. It's so much is going on. They're exchanging shots more and more and more, and now the Booger has ejected. They have ejected. Their own fighter has now gone into the scrap heap, ladies and gentlemen. And the human ship, we are looking down on it. The human ship is still intact. Mostly, ladies and gentlemen, it seems as though they're missing one of their pylons, and there are pot shots all around it. However, they are still flying. Ladies and gentlemen, victory goes to the humans with their marvelous display of skill and ingenuity, as well as their marvelous flying and unbelievable techniques, ladies and gentlemen. They have shown themselves to be dominant in this Galactic Wargames. Ladies and gentlemen, it is absolutely crazy to see a brand new species completely dominate so far. However, this is only the first round in this Galactic Wargames, and as the retrieval teams attend to the contestants all over the field, our local human representative Steve is here and has agreed to answer a few quick questions. I really do have not a lot of time, so please be concise about your questions. I can only do about one or two. Of course. Now, first question: how did you come up with the design of your fighter? Science fiction. Could you be more elaborate in that? Okay, how do I say this? Most intellectual people, as in humans, are not very inventive. I mean, they can do the math, they can work out problems, and they have their heads on very tight and can solve this very, very quickly. The truly great idea, though, they have to think outside the confines of the academia that they work in so much. Unfortunately, they're in the academia so much, they cannot think beyond that. This is important. In order to facilitate something of a great idea, they need creative minds that can think outside of these restrictions to figure out the issue that these other folks are having, these intellectuals are having, and be able to fix it with a creative idea. That's the duality of humans. I'm sure you've heard of it. Together, we create something so simple, so elegant, so beautiful, and so deadly. I see, and the idea of setting up a decoy, which type of human does that come from? All of us. Explain, please. Well, you see, with humans, it's always a trap. And unfortunately, I don't have time for anything else. I'm actually being waved by my producer. I gotta go. So if you'll excuse me. Yes, thank you, Steve, for being here and answering a few of our questions. And thank you all for joining us. And we will see you next time with the next event of Season 3 of the Galactic Wargames. Hello everybody, this is Syntax. Thank you so much for joining me today on Season 3, Episode 1 of the Galactic Wargames. Before I go, I need to send out some special thank yous to a few of my supporters, and those will be MTF Guard, Guardian Sage, SS Demon, Erica Gem, Prozac and Pancakes, and Brian Kemp. Thank you all so much for supporting the channel. Everybody else, I'll see you on the next one. This is Syntax, ejecting.